I'm Susan Gardner from Municipal World. I'm here in Calgary at the MiC Municipal Innovators Conference 2018, and joining me is the innovation team from the city of Calgary. Woo.
Hi.
Welcome, guys.
Hello.
So, Innovation Conference hosted here in the city.
Yeah.
What makes this conference innovative?
Well, I think we approached it in a very different way than the previous conferences. We took a lot of risks. We're trying a lot of experiments, and we thought about the conference in terms of systems. We connected different pieces together so that people could really have a flow, so that they could choose from 4 different tracks. They could look at focusing on smaller municipalities, larger municipalities, and each session could be a building block they could use for a future innovation in their city or town.
Experiential learning is a big piece of what we do at the lab. We believe in people really getting to experience things for themselves and stumbling on their own discoveries and getting a chance to be playful and experimental. We can provide all the innovation tools that we are able to, but if people don't have the mindset or the culture to be able to bring those into action and make them happen, then we haven't supported them enough. So a bit of the conference design was experiential learning pieces in each of the sessions, as well as in our gallery space, which is going to be really exciting. Marauders map kind of treasure hunts, and that builds off learning experiences we've had all summer. We've been running professional development experiments over the summer to help us inform more training for us to be able to give people the skills and the mindsets and for them to experience the things that they need to be an innovator and to bring an innovation culture back to their team.
Another place where that innovation experience is coming into play in our work is with something that we call Smarter Cities Made Human. We asked the question, how can technology shape the city? And part of one of the pieces that's missing in that conversation is that it's really hard to taste the future. And so our lab worked throughout 2017 to design experiments that let citizens and staff kind of taste the future. And that looked like flying drones in a soccer center to imagine what would it be like to be on a patio when that happened. Or putting, Chad will tell the story, fire on the back of a fire truck to ask the question, what would happen with that technology and your culture when they collide? We're really excited also to say that this work, this is kind of like a shameless plug, this work is being celebrated at the Service Design Network Conference in Dublin, where we're a finalist for a global award, which is super cool because it cracks open some permission space to keep working differently,
Definitely
to keep
does.
giving citizens experiences, and to keep bringing staff into the lab and working in new ways. So
Yeah.
Chad, do you want to share a little bit about the fire experience?
Absolutely. This is a good example of where some of the insights and conclusions that you reach are very different when you're actually experiencing something as opposed to when you're just talking about something, or whether something sounds like a good idea versus whether you actually get to try it out and see what happens. And so one of the things that we are doing is experimenting with this idea of a digital building or a digital representation of a building and all the different ways that the city could add value to that. And we looked outside the typical sort of players in that equation, the people who ask for new buildings, the people who get new buildings. And we thought, well, what about the people who fight fires in those buildings? How can we extend the value of that data? So we put virtual reality goggles on the members of the Calgary Fire Department, and we asked them to visualize what it would be like to fight a fire in the building that you are actually traveling to. And so we thought this would be a very powerful way to develop a situational awareness. Well, what we actually found out is the situational awareness was developed by the collaboration amongst the team. And what was happening is that when everyone had goggles on their face, they were no longer working together as a team. They were in their own worlds. So what we found out there is, while that experiment was a failure, they said this would be an absolutely fantastic tool to use in the context of training and context of preparation.
And it also makes 50% of the people motion sick.
Yeah.
So
You don't want your firefighters to throw up on the way to a fire.
or adding barf bags onto fire trucks.
Yeah.
Speaking of learnings, Daniela, do you want to share a little bit about the innovation reports that we're producing?
Sure, thank you. An innovation report is something that attaches on all of the aspects that we worked on and put up performance measures against it so that people who are not such a visionary could understand and relate and show the value. We do have 3 focus areas in that innovation report. It's innovation insights, skills and learning, and the collaboration and connectivity, which is really important part of any success. and it helps us get better and improve all along.
So you said something at the end of your presentation here today about kind of breaking down the DNA. You want to talk about that?
Well, I think we sometimes we talk about transforming government from the inside out and rewriting the DNA of our legacy systems, whether those are big institutions like municipal government or the partners that we work with. They were designed for a world that doesn't exist anymore. And just like this conference, we're challenging public sector workers and the folks around them to lean in, work harder, and do better, because our ancestors are going to depend on it. If we want to build the cities of the future, we need to work in new ways. And I think that this conference...
I think according to Patrick Finn, we're working smarter.
Yes,
Not harder.
Not harder, smarter, not harder. All right.
And we're finding the beauty in that work.
Well, it's fantastic. Congratulations, guys, on the conference. You've got a great turnout here in Calgary,
Yes.
220
Yes.
delegates,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And congratulations on the groundbreaking work that you're doing, too.
Thank you.
We're
Civic Innovation YYC, and that's our story.